everyone, my name is Miranda, and today I'm here to review a new show called Frequency, which aired on the CW. And this show, I have to say, honestly, it's been very swept under the radar. Frequency, radar, you get it. In that, like, Supergirl, I feel like everything, honestly, besides Supernatural is, like, swept under the rug at CW under this, like, superhero cloud. So I just randomly recorded it one day after hearing the description, because the description is super, super cool. Supposedly, well, not supposedly, it's true, but I just haven't seen it. It's based on this movie from, like, 2008 or something, and it's about this girl who is a police detective. She's 28 in 2016, and she has this ham radio that one day, after being struck by lightning, it allows her to communicate with her deceased dad, who was also a police officer who died 2 days after her 8th birthday. He was undercover, but he supposedly turned into a dirty cop before he was murdered in 1996. So now she's kind of getting to reconnect with her dad, but also get out a lot of these angry feelings with her dad and kind of, I don't know, like, tell him what's happening and warn him of what's about to go down. But the great thing about this show is that they're kind of trying to solve cases together, but at the same time, everything she tells him, they show the repercussions that it has. And, like, that's one of my least favorite things in The Flash, if you know. Like, that's why I'm not watching season 3, because I'm just like, Barry Allen, you had your 3 chances not to F with the timeline, and you were just like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I want. And I'm like, you're really dumb. But this one is more like, less supernaturally, you know, like the timeline is, like the time travel is the only thing that's really kind of supernaturally in it, and this is like her first experience with it, so she doesn't really understand what the butterfly effect, like how little things or even big things can change her life now in humongous ways. And I thought that was a really, really intriguing premise. It had some really, really good plot twists, and I'm just super intrigued to see where it goes. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but let me just say it has some amazing, amazing plot twists, so I'm gonna say it. So if you haven't watched it, don't want to be spoiled, thank you for stopping by, but we'll have to return together in the future after you've watched it, so bye for now, non-spoilers. Yeah, the thing that I really, really liked was her being able to save her dad and convincing him that this was the night he was going to die, and because of that, he ended up managing to survive when he died that night, and he also conversely convinced her that he's not a dirty cop and that he was framed. So that's going to be, I feel like, our overarching storyline, along with the Nightingale killer, or whatever it was called, is who framed her father and then who is this mysterious killer, because I feel like the fact that they aren't killing could mean, in 2016, could mean that they're not alive anymore, or it could mean that potentially maybe when the timeline gets screwed up, they are going to be alive now, and maybe they'll be killing even more. But it was just a really intriguing premise. Like, I figured it out once she was in the elevator, obviously, and, like, they told us that her mom was going to get killed by the Nightingale killer, because they showed you, I like how they showed you the differences, how, like, in the timeline where her dad had died, the lady who was her mom's friend that was a nurse went into the elevator, and the guy saw her badge, and what happened now that her dad was alive, her mom and her were there, and her mom took the stuff that her friend was going to do and got in the elevator with the guy instead of the friend. So I like how you're seeing the slight changes, and how just, like, a little thing, like the fact that the mom was in the elevator instead of the friend, was what ended up getting her killed. I think that's so fascinating, and I literally, like, I was like, when it happened, because I was like, oh my gosh, the mom is gonna get killed, and, like, just the fact that, like processing it as Raimi was, like, how it was like, oh, okay, my mom was alive, like, 6 hours ago, and now she's gone, and her dad is still dead because he died in a car accident, which I find that super suspicious as well. I think if this show does potentially, like, end, I think the ending would be her managing to have both her parents together alive, because right now she has no one, which is so, so incredibly sad. But, like, just the fact that, like, her mom was alive 6 hours ago, and her mom is an old woman, and now her mom has been missing and is dead for 20 years. I was like, oh my good golly gracious. So obviously she's going to go on and fix this. This is what the end of it was like, but I think now she realizes, okay, in fixing stuff, what am I going to do? Like, am I going to make things worse? Because she's not like Barry Allen as far as she's concerned. She can't go back and not tell her dad about it and then just have her life reset to what it normally was. So she's kind of got to figure out what she has right now. And I'm very intrigued by this premise of, like, because Barry fricks it up, and then like he can go back and fix it. She now is stuck with these consequences, and she has to try and fix it from what she has now. So she can't undo what she did with her father, and I don't think she would necessarily want to. At the same time, that was the catalyst of changing everything, and I have to say, like, it was just, I'm so intrigued to see where this is going to go now, because obviously the big thing is her and her dad are going to be trying to solve these Nightingale killers since they took her mother, and that's the big thing now. And I have to say, this show surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be that great. It's not going to win any awards, but it was definitely emotionally heavy. It had me crying like 50 times, like when he was trying to take care of his daughter, but you saw like he was undercover, so he couldn't. And then when she found out her mom is the one that died, and then when she finds out her dad is like a lot, I was just like, oh my gosh, I sobbed like 40 like million just tissues everywhere. I was like, I can't handle this. Thank goodness I was watching it alone, or else everyone would have made fun of me. But it was just so good and so surprising. And like I said, that last 15 minutes where they set it up, where it spun, how it was like, okay, everything your life was like before, now that you save your dad, it's all different. And I like how it's like little, like obviously her dad living isn't that like little of a change, like it's huge, but at the same time it's just the fact that she and her mom were in the hospital at the time that the killer happened to be there, and then the killer saw her mom, killed the mom, and then the mom's not alive now for her to meet her then boyfriend before everything happened. And it's just how all those little pushes and little changes can lead to huge repercussions and huge changes, and I'm really, really excited. It's interesting too that she can remember both lives. She can remember what it was like before and what it was like now, but like her first reaction is what it was like before, and then she starts to remember what her life is like now. So I'm super excited to see where this premise is gonna go. The ratings aren't too great, so I don't think it's gonna be picked up for a full season or even a season 2, but I'm enjoying it while it lasts. And if you want to check out a new intriguing series, I would definitely recommend it. There's not really anything like it on TV right now, which is really, really cool. It reminds me kind of like a Stitcher's factor in that like it's not too sci-fi. It just has like this one little thing, and then the rest goes on from there. So I definitely recommend it. It's really, really cool, and I'm really intrigued to see where the rest of the season is going to go. And if you have watched Frequency or are interested in checking it out, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments, and also make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel down below to be told to make all sorts of new videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!